What is up, guys? My name is Quad X, and today I'm going to be showing you how you can create future house drum loops sounding like this. So let's get started. So future house focuses a lot more on drums than most of the house genres, but I don't know, maybe that's wrong. But there are mainly a few elements. I mean, you could just add a kick and clap and, make it sound like this. But we're gonna mainly focus on the hats and all this stuff. So it's kind of complex maybe in the beginning, but if you get used to it, it's a lot of fun. And you just have to be a lot more creative and try layering stuff. So the main concept is this. So it's gonna be a kick and clap. Let me just add the clap just for the sake of the beat. So the basic concept is this. But that sounds very stale and empty, so you can add a closed hi-hat, something like this, and then you can place this closed hi-hat right before the open hi-hat comes in, so it sounds like this. Now you have to play around with this. Like there's no specific pattern in which you have to put the closed hi-hat. So it's usually like this. This is a very generic future house loop, and you could put them anywhere. Like I could just insert one here. I don't know how that will sound. So like right before or right after the open hi-hat usually works out well. So you can do that, and then I added a layer which is a louder hi-hat, louder open hi-hat. So again, this is all depending on creativity, and you can just do whatever you want. I could layer all of them, but this has worked better for me. It just sounded better. And then I added another closed hi-hat, which is very low. Doesn't really make a huge difference, but then it sounds like this. I mean, by itself it doesn't sound that penetrating through the mix and all, but that is essentially all the hi-hats. Basically you need one open hi-hat and you can layer it with another which is louder or lesser in volume, and then you need some closed hi-hats which you would either put right before or right after the open hi-hat, depending on what beat you want to make. And then comes in the percussion. So for percussion I use these two short snare things, and this one which I think is panned to the right or something. It has a lot of stereo in it. So anyway, I usually put them like this. So that is again depending on creativity, but I'll tell you the essential thing is right after the second kick you can start putting them in and end them. Okay, my computer is having some problems, but anyway, right after the second kick comes in or the first clap comes in, you can start putting the percussions in, like just these two percussions, short snarey things, and then you can end them by the end of the first 4 bars. So again, in the first portion there's nothing. When the first kick is there, it's nothing. By first kick I mean the first kick of the first bar. Again, these are very generic sounds. You can I got this Essential Deep House from Vengeance, and it has a lot of good percussion sounds. It even has loops. Now, if you want to use loops, you might just use loops that no one really cares, but then it has some good loops. So you can use them, but the main point of making future house is having fun with the drum loops. So if you just use a loop, you just lose that entire fun. So I wouldn't use a loop, but you might as well use it if you want to. But that is the whole point of the video, to make a loop by yourself. So whatever. And then I just added a little shaker, and the shaker, you'll hear the same thing in many chill out or tropical house tracks. So it sounds like this. So there's a velocity envelope here, and it basically, it's like it's coming from a low velocity to high velocity. It's basically a volume envelope, but yeah, it's inside the piano roll. So velocity is essentially the force with which you hit a single note, and yeah, and that determines the volume basically. So it sounds like this, and it just adds a bit of a background element to the entire loop. So now it's basically the loop is complete. So again, let's just go over it once more. You have two open hi-hats layered, one louder, one a little lower, and then the closed hi-hats either right before or right after each open hi-hat. Sometimes you can even not give any closed hi-hats, like this section I've not given any closed hi-hats. And then you can use a percussion again after the first bar of every 4 bars. You can start putting them in and trying stuff out, and it works. Okay, it works like that, and it sounds like this. Okay, and the mix is something which you have to do by ear. Now I don't have processing on a lot of things. I just have on the shaker, I have a little bit of auto panning and a little bit of stereo, and I think the short snares I have auto panning, so I guess you get a stereo effect with that, and a lot of stereo. I mean, a bit of stereo, I guess. But anyway, that is how I did it essentially, and I really just wanted to try out Future House because this is my first Future House video, and my past videos have been only on dubstep. So I just tried out, I just thought of trying out a new genre, and I've actually come back to the genre after a long time. But anyway, thank you for watching, everyone. My name is Quad X, and I hope you have a good one.